If any see the truly awake as becoming liberated and divorced from taints, and not attached to any world, they have not realized the eye of the way. If any know the Buddha's substance and form have no existence, and by cultivation gain clear understanding, such people will soon be Buddhas. Who can see this world unstirred in mind, and likewise Buddha's body, will attain supreme knowledge. If, regarding the Buddha and truth, one understands that they are equal, having no thought of duality, one will walk on the inconceivable plane. If one sees the Buddha and oneself resting in equality, without abode, entering nowhere, one will become one of the rare. Form and feeling have no sets, nor do conception, action, consciousness. Any who can know this way will become great sages. Whether mundane or transmundane views, having risen beyond them all, while well able to know the truth, one will become a great illuminate. If, toward omniscience, one engenders dedication, seeing mind without origination, one will gain the greatest name. Living beings have no birth, nor either any decay. If one attains such knowledge as this, one will realize the unexcelled way. In one understanding infinity within infinity, one, realizing their origins interdependent, one will attain to fearlessness. Sentient beings lack wisdom, wounded and poisoned by the thorns of craving. For their sake we seek enlightenment. Such is the law of all Buddhas. Seeing all things, giving up extremes, once enlightened, never regressing, they turn the incomparable wheel of truth. For inconceivable eons, cultivating various practices vigorously in order to liberate beings, this is the power of the great sages. The guide conquers demons bravely and invincibly, preaching subtle truths in his light because of kind compassion. By knowledge and wisdom, breaking the barriers of afflictions, in an instant, seeing all. This is the spiritual power of Buddhas. Beating the drum of the great teaching, awakening all lands in the 10 directions, making all turn toward enlightenment, independent power can act like this. Without breaking the infinite boundaries, traveling through the billions of lands, without attachment to any existent, such is the freedom like the Buddhas. The Buddhas are like space, ultimately forever pure. Those who rejoice in remembering this will fulfill all of their vows. In each and every one of the hells, they pass innumerable eons. In order to liberate sentient beings, they're able to bear these pains. Without begrudging body or life, always preserving the Buddhist teachings, with egoless mind harmonious, one can attain the enlightened way. Buddha understands things are like phantoms. Comprehending, he is unhindered. His mind is pure and free from attachments. He harmonizes and pacifies all beings. Some see him born first, his color like a mountain of gold. Living in his final body, he's forever a moon of humanity. Some see him walking around, replete with boundless virtues, attention and intellect well employed. The great man walks like a lion. Some see his violet eyes, gazing in the 10 directions. Sometimes he shows a smile to accommodate beings' wishes. Some see his lion roar, his supreme incomparable body, manifesting his last incarnation, speaking naught but the truth. Some see him leaving home, shedding all bonds, practicing the acts of Buddhas, always contemplating extinction. Some see him sitting on the enlightenment site, awakening knowledge of all things, reaching the other shore of all virtues, darkness and affliction ended. Some see the Supreme Man, full of great compassion, turning the wheel of teaching, liberating numberless beings. Some see the lion's roar, its awesome light, unique, transcending all the worlds with peerless mystic power. Some see the mind at peace, like a lamp gone out forever, variously manifesting spiritual mastery. The 10-powered one can be like this. The Buddha comprehends, without peer, the exceedingly profound truth. Sentient beings cannot understand, so he reveals it step by step. The nature of self has never existed, and possessions of self are also nil. So how come the enlightened ones are able to have their bodies? The liberated ones, with knowledge and conduct, are beyond category or compare. All the logic and reasoning of the world cannot find any fault in them. The Buddhas are not worldly clusters, elements, senses, born and dying things. Phenomenal sets cannot produce them. Thus they are called human lions. Their nature is fundamentally empty and inactive. They're liberated within and without, detached from all delusive ideas. Such is the peerless state. Their substance and nature never moves, selfless, no coming or going. Yet they can awaken the worlds, pacifying all, without bound. They always enjoy contemplating extinction, uniform, without duality. Their minds do not increase or decrease, yet manifest boundless powers. They do not do the deeds that cause results for sentient beings, yet can understand unhindered. Such is the enlightened way. All kinds of living beings transmigrate through all realms. Buddhas, not discriminating, liberate the boundless kinds. The Buddha's golden color is not existent, yet pervades all existences. According to the inclination of beings, they teach them ultimate peace. Developing great compassion to save and protect all sentient beings, forever leaving human and celestial realms, this is what work should be done. Always with faith in the Buddha, the mind never regressing, associating with the enlightened ones, this is what work should be done. Intent on the virtues of Buddhahood, the will never receding, abiding in cool, pure wisdom, this is what work should be done. In all manner of activities, always remembering the Buddha's virtues, without ever elapsed day or night, this is what work should be done. Observing the boundless past, present, and future, studying enlightened virtues without ever tiring of it, this is what work should be done. Observing the real characteristic of the body, all being void and nil, detaching from self with no egotism, this is what work should be done. A mind seeing beings as equal, not creating discrimination, entering the realm of real truth, this is what work should be done. Lifting up boundless worlds, drinking up all the oceans, this power of knowledge of psychic attainment is the kind of work that should be done. Contemplating the various lands, their material and immaterial aspects, able to know them all, this is what work should be done. The atoms of all lands everywhere are, each and every one, a Buddha. To be able to know their number, this is what work should be done. If one sees the human tamer, in terms of form or family, these are diseased eyes, perverted views. They cannot know the supreme truth. The various formal characteristics of the Buddha cannot be assessed by any being. Though billions and trillions together calculate, those features and virtues are yet more boundless. The Buddha does not have forms as substance. It's just the formless quiescent state. Yet the physical forms and dignities are complete, seen by worldlings in accord with their wishes. The Buddha's reality is subtle and hard to fathom. No words or speech can reach it. It is not compounded or uncompounded. Its essential nature is void and formless. Buddha's body is unborn, beyond imagination. It is not a cluster of diverse elements. Having the power of freedom and certain insight, he travels the fearless, inexpressible path. Body and mind equanimous, liberated within and without, abiding forever in true awareness. He has no attachment, no bondage. The illumined one whose mind is pure acts without habituation. With the eye of knowledge reaching everywhere, he greatly aids living beings. One body is infinite, and the infinite too are one. Understanding all the worlds, he manifests forms everywhere. This body comes from nowhere and accumulates nothing either. It is due to beings' discrimination that they see various bodies of Buddha. Mind discriminates worlds, but that mind has no existence. The enlightened know this truth and thus see the Buddha body.